Migrating ASEAN's IT infrastructure to cloud computing, presented by AndrewAmuzu. In this presentation, I'll be making a business case for cloud computing. To achieve this, I'll take you through an executive summary, a description of cloud computing, basic capabilities of the cloud, analysis of economic implications, IT business needs, SWOT analysis, and then I will conclude. In the business world today, the use of online applications as business solutions continues to grow. This has influenced many organizations such as ours to invest heavily in IT infrastructure. As we all know, our organization in recent months has experienced high growth, which has put us on a path to expand our IT infrastructure. Our internal data centers are maxed out, so our first instinct was to make allocations to acquire a new data center with some servers, storage, and network devices. It is well known by management that our data centers cost the company a lot of money to acquire, set up, and maintain. After doing a lot of research, I found an alternative solution which would be more cost effective and present the company with benefits that will have a positive impact on our delivery of online business solutions. That alternative is cloud computing. Today, I would like to present to management a business case for a migration of our business applications or solutions and data from our on-premise IT infrastructure to cloud computing. As I give this presentation, I'll provide management with information such as what cloud computing is, what cloud computing's basic capabilities are, an analysis of its economic implications on this organization, as well as some SWOT analysis. I believe this information will provide management with the advantages and disadvantages of adopting cloud computing and will also help management confidently give the approval of a migration of our on-premise IT infrastructure to cloud computing. Cloud computing could be simply defined as the delivery of computing services such as servers, storage, databases, and networking over the internet. This method of delivering computing services offers flexible resources and faster innovation. There are different types of cloud deployments. They are public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Public clouds are owned and operated by cloud service providers who deliver their computing resources over the internet. Examples of a public cloud are Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. Private clouds are used exclusively by a single organization. Hybrid clouds combine public and private clouds. There are also different types of cloud services. They are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Infrastructure as a service allows you to rent IT infrastructure from a cloud provider on a pay-as-you-go basis. Platform as a service provides you with an on-demand environment for developing, testing, deploying, and managing software applications. Software as a service allows you to access software applications over the internet, on demand, and usually on a subscription basis. It is important to note that cloud service providers own and maintain the network connected hardware required for their customers to access computing resources via the internet. At this point, I'd like to say cloud computing is similar to going to a store like Staples to print out a document you have on your thumb drive. You go there with your thumb drive. They already have a computer and a printer set up. You put in your thumb drive, access your document, and print it out. After printing, you are charged based on how many documents you printed out and whether you printed in color or in black and white. In general, cloud computing service providers provide the customers or users with a friendly browser-based dashboard, making it easy for IT professionals and developers to order and provision resources. as well as manage their accounts. From these browser-based dashboards, the possibilities are endless. We can create new apps and services, test and build applications, store, backup, and recover data, analyze data, stream audio and video, embed intelligence, and deliver software on demand. There are quite a few cloud service providers on the market, the most popular being Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. I suggest using AWS not only because they are the leaders in the industry and own a huge market share, but also because their browser-based dashboard is easy to use and their support services are top-notch, considering the large amount of additions and updates they make to their platform each day. Now, I'd like to talk about the economic implications after a move to cloud computing is completed for the company. I will talk about what goes into our IT budgeting and our total cost of ownership of cloud computing in order to make the economic implications clear. Now, with regards to our IT budget, one of the advantages of cloud computing is that it solely deals with operating expense, OPEX. Let's first look at what our OPEX for cloud computing will be. Our OPEX will include our cloud hosting subscription, cloud engineer staffing costs, software licensing costs. That's basically it. So now let's look at the capital expense and operating expense of our current on-premise IT infrastructure. Our CapEx and OPEX for our on-premise IT infrastructure includes data center costs, mortgage rent, air conditioning systems, power generators, and power distribution units, etc. Payroll costs, staffing for setting up the systems and maintaining the system. Also, sometimes additional external support is needed. Server, storage, and network hardware costs, routers, switches, firewalls, intrusion detection and protection system, load balancers, etc. Software costs, database software, application software, operating system software, etc. Now we can compare the costs for the two different models. So from this table, we can clearly see our current on-premise model involves a lot more things to take care of than the cloud computing model. It is important to note that the only two things that the cloud computing model takes care of that the on-premise model doesn't is IT staffing for cloud engineers and the cloud hosting subscriptions. Now looking at the actual IT budgets, our current on-premise budget is a total of $9,184,933 after adding our CapEx and OpEx. While we could have a budget of about $2,005,585 for a cloud computing model. So we will be saving about $7,179,348. That is a lot of money. I'd like to remind us of our current IT infrastructure. It consists of 20 database servers with 16 cores and 128 gigabytes RAM in each. 50% of our databases run on Oracle SE and the other 50% run on MySQL. 200 non-database servers with 8 cores and 64 gigabytes RAM in each. All of these run Linux. 200 terabytes of object storage with 25% infrequently accessed. 500 terabytes of network attached storage and 1000 terabytes of storage area network storage. With AWS, we can put in the compute equivalent of our on-premise infrastructure into what they call a simple monthly calculator to give us an estimate of our monthly bill. So after I put in the necessary information, our estimated bill for each month will be $40,885.19. I'd like to also talk about our total cost of ownership of the cloud. It takes into consideration direct and indirect cost of the cloud, not just the subscription fees. AWS also has a calculator that helps us to determine the total cost of ownership. And what the calculator does is to compare the direct and indirect cost of an on-premise model to the direct and indirect cost of a cloud model over a period of time, in this case 3 years. And then it tells us how much we will be saving. I'll be sending you the slides after this presentation, so you can click on the link below the screenshot to see what goes into calculating the total cost of ownership. But from the screenshot, we can clearly see that over a period of 3 years, with cloud computing, we'll be saving an amount of $2,085,264. Moving on to advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Let's first look at the advantages. Trade capital expense for operating expense. Instead of investing heavily in data centers and servers, we can rent compute resources and pay for how much we consume. It is no secret that most of the servers that we purchase are not being utilized to 100%. Thus, we will be saving some money by paying for exactly what we use. The next is stop spending money on running and maintaining data centers. With cloud computing, we can focus on providing our customers with quality services rather than focusing on purchasing, racking, stacking, and powering servers. Stop guessing capacity. Cloud computing will bring an end to our continuous guessing of our infrastructure capacity needs. With cloud computing, we can access as much or as little as we need and scale up and down as required within a few minutes instead of ending up with expensive idle resources or dealing with limited capacity when we decide to purchase the physical IT resources ourselves. Increase in speed and agility. With cloud computing, provisioning resources are just a click away, therefore reducing the time it takes to make resources available to our developers from weeks to minutes. This increases the agility of our organization, since the time it takes to develop and test is significantly lower, though global in minutes. We'll be able to deploy our applications in multiple regions around the world with just a few clicks, and in the process provide a lower latency and better experience of our customers. Reliability. Cloud computing is much more reliable and consistent than our in-house IT infrastructure due to cloud providers' managed service platform. Most providers offer a service level agreement which guarantees 24/7, 365 and 99.99% availability. Our organization can benefit from a massive pool of redundant IT resources. Strategic edge. Ever-increasing computing resources give us a competitive advantage over our competitors, as the time we require for IT procurement is nil. Our company can deploy mission-critical applications without any upfront cost and minimal provisioning time. Now let's look at the disadvantages. Downtime. Cloud service providers take care of a lot of clients each day, thus they can become overwhelmed and may sometimes experience technical outages. This could obviously lead to our business processes being temporarily suspended. Also, if we do not maintain a reliable and constant online internet connection, we will be unable to access our applications, servers, or data from the cloud. Security. Although cloud service providers implement the best security standards and industry certifications, storing data and important files on external service providers always opens up risks. Being a public service opens up cloud service providers to security challenges on a routine basis. The ease in procuring and accessing cloud services can also give hackers the ability to scan, identify, and exploit loopholes and vulnerabilities within the system. However, it is comforting to know exploits and loopholes are not likely to surface, and the likelihood of a compromise is not great. Vendor lock-in. Although cloud service providers promise that the cloud will be flexible to use and integrate, switching cloud services is something that hasn't yet completely evolved. We may find it difficult to migrate our services from one vendor to another. Therefore, if we decide to go with one particular vendor, we are stuck with them for quite a long time. Limited control. Since the cloud infrastructure is entirely owned, managed, and monitored by a service provider, it transfers minimal control over to us. We can only control and manage the applications, data, and services operated on top of that, not the back-end infrastructure itself. Looking at the advantages and disadvantages of cloud adoption, it is evident that the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. Now, I'd like to talk about our return on investment. In order to calculate our return on investment, we will need to input our gain from investment and cost of investment into the formula below. Our yearly gain for investment will be $695,088. Our yearly cost of investment will be $490,622.28. I arrived at these figures from the results of the AWS Simply Monthly Calculator and the AWS Total Cost of Ownership Calculator from the previous slides. The result of putting these figures into the formula is 42% return on investment, or a 42% annual cost savings. Now, this table gives you a better look at the comparison between the cloud computing model and the on-premise model. With the on-premise model, hardware software is hosted on premise by a company. With the cloud computing model, hardware software will be hosted off-premise by Amazon Web Services. With our on-premise model, provisioning is based on estimated peak demand, which can lead to insufficient resources during peak periods and surplus during normal periods. And with the cloud computing model, provisioning is dynamic based on actual demand. With the on-premise model, capital expense budgets are required, and it can take a long time to add capacity or refresh systems. While with the cloud computing model, capital expense budgets are no longer required and additional capacity can be quickly added. In this last section, I'd like to talk about SWOT analysis. That is identifying the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of this company. I'd like to begin with a brief description of this company. African Zone Music, AZM, is an independent music publishing company which offers music publishing, career development, neighboring rights, marketing, creative, and financing services to a wide range of songwriters, artists, and record producers. AZM consists of different departments such as the A&R, career development, human resource, finance, and IT departments. Staff working in this company upload and share a lot of financial data, media files, and other confidential information. Now let's delve into our SWOT analysis, starting with the strengths. Though our client list and catalog is growing, our company currently does not have a huge and overwhelming client list. Therefore, our A&R team has time to provide our clients with sufficient attention in handling their song administration activities. I'd like to say that a move to the cloud will help us develop applications that makes our team perform their task even much quicker, thus giving them enough time to take on new clients anywhere in the world. Another strength is that 50% of our IT staff already took the initiative in getting training and certifying in cloud computing technologies such as AWS. This will significantly reduce the time in which we will begin migration and testing if an approval is given to migrate to the cloud. Now looking at our weaknesses. Our current business solutions and online applications do not provide our A&R team with the ability to take on clients outside this country. 90% of our publishing deals have been made in person, since new clients have to fill out printed forms. Another weakness is that as compared to the major publishing companies such as Warner Chappell, our company does not have the financial capacity to make offers for expensive catalogs that bring in huge returns. I'd like to also say that a move to the cloud will save a lot of money, which could be used to make offers for much more lucrative catalogs. Now, to talk about our opportunities. There's an increase in songwriters and producers across the globe who have successful records or songs and are searching for publishers. I like to say that with a move to the cloud, we can quickly develop and test applications that will seek to cater for clients outside of this country. Another opportunity is that there's an increase in the use of digital music streaming applications, thus making it easier to track and report earnings quicker. With a move to the cloud, we can quickly develop and test applications that will import data from the streaming companies to produce reports for our clients within a short time. Now let's look at our threats. Other publishing companies have started migrating to the cloud. Though they have not yet deployed any applications that cater for potential clients outside the country, it is only a matter of time before they begin to use the capabilities of cloud computing to their benefit. Another threat is, since 50% of our IT staff have already been trained in cloud computing, we face a likelihood of them being poached by other companies migrating to the cloud if we decide not to migrate to cloud computing. The last threat is that some digital streaming companies have started making deals directly with artists or producers and songwriters. We might lose some of our clients if we do not find ways of reporting earnings to our clients faster than we are doing right now. In conclusion, it is evident that a migration to cloud computing will help the company in leveraging its strengths as well as provide additional benefits that will help the company take advantage of its opportunities. Long term, migrating to the cloud will save the company a lot of money and at the same time improve the company's online business solutions. I propose a gradual migration to the AWS cloud. We will first migrate our data, then our non-critical applications. We'll then test our non-critical applications in the cloud and make any necessary adjustments and fixes. After that, we will work on migrating our critical applications to the cloud. We will then test them and make sure everything works like they should. I'd like to also mention that once we are certain everything works in the cloud, we will deploy our applications and run them alongside our on-premise applications. This will be done in order to make sure our clients are able to access our online services at all times if we happen to experience any unexpected problems with our applications running in the cloud. We will gradually phase out the use of our on-premise business solutions. Thank you.